Perek Mishna Zayin. En shochatin et Pesach al hayachid. Diver Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says that we don't do a Korban Pesach just for one person. We said there's a group for the Korban Pesach, and each person has to eat at least a kazait, 27 grams of meat in the Korban Pesach. So let's say you got a big guy and a really small animal, because anyways the animal has to be less than 1 year old. He says, you know what, do this Korban Pesach just for me. I want to eat the whole thing. So Rabbi Yehuda says, no, you can't do that. And what it's based off of is the Torah says Lo tuchal lizboch et Pesach be'achat she'arecha, where the pasuk says you can't do the slaughtering of the Korban Pesach in any one of your gates, in any one of your cities, only in Yerushalayim. But Rabbi Yehuda says, if you cut the pasuk in a different way, Lo tuchal lizboch et Pesach be'achad, which means you can't slaughter the Pesach for one. It means for one of your gates, because if you put the ending of the pasuk there, playing with the word, so to speak, it also hints to not slaughtering the Pesach for one person. Rabbi Yossi matir. Rabbi Yossi says it's allowed, because the pasuk says, "Ish lefi ochlo," man based on his eating. It's all about basing on eating. If the man could eat it, then he could have the Korban Pesach. Just came to my mind, what if a person says, I want 2 Korban Pesachs. I'm big enough, I want to eat 2 animals, fully. Right? We're not worried there's going to be any leftovers. And I don't know. But Rabbi Yossi says definitely for 1. Right? Maybe that's an extreme case. But definitely for 1, Rabbi Yossi says it's fine. Along those lines, he says, Afilu chabura shel mea, she'en yecholim le'echol kazait, en shochatim alehem. Even if there's a group of 100 people, but there's not enough for each person to have a kazait, we do not do shechita for that group. So meaning, there's 100 people, and I have, let's say, 99 kazites. I estimate that this animal is going to provide me 99 kazites. But I have 100 people part of this group. Says Rabbi Yossi, you do not do the slaughtering for that 100 people. There's got to be one person leaving the group. You might say, well, maybe a guy's going to be sick, maybe a guy's not going to feel well, maybe they won't eat at the end. No, you have to make sure there's enough for each person going into the Korban Pesach. And the ruling is like Rav Yossi, be it in this law, and be it in the law that you could do slaughtering of a Korban Pesach even for one person. Lastly, last point of the Mishnah, Ve'eno sin chaburat nashim v'avadim uktanim. If a group is contained with women, slaves, and children only in this group, we don't slaughter for them. They have to have men, adults there. And the explanation is as follows. Unfortunately, slaves were very, they did a lot of illicit relationships. And therefore, if they're going to be there with women, we're worried that there's going to be issues. Even if they're there with kids, God forbid, we're worried that there's going to be issues. And therefore, with the mixture of slaves in the picture, there has to be adult men there as well to make sure that everything is okay. They can't be in a group on their own. So that's certainly slaves with children on their own, slaves with women on their own. Women and children on their own is okay. Or women on their own, slaves on their own, and children on their own. So women on their own is okay. Slaves on their own is okay. Children on their own is that only if they're of the age of understanding, then we could do a Korban Pesach for them. If they're under that age, 6 or under, 8 or under, then we don't do a Korban Pesach for just children on their own. And that's how the Mishnah ends. And we will finish the last Mishnah with the 8th Perek tomorrow. And then we have 1 Perek left to finish Masechet Pesachim. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Chananya ben Akashya אומר לצעק הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל לפיכך חיבה להם תורה מצווה שנאמר אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.